Yo. Welcome, people. Welcome. Do me a favor while you're in there, just click that like button. Costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps the video attempt to try to get across to new people that might not be familiar with what we're doing, gematria in itself, so on and so forth. So, okay, let's get into it, man. Today's a big day, right? We got the World Series going on, and I usually never ever do videos like this, right? Where I come on YouTube and I speak about like a big game before it happens. Usually, I like to keep that exclusive to the people that support me directly, right? And that's how I've always done it, right? But the problem with that is because I don't necessarily make a video sometimes before it happens, people who might be new to this work, never heard of it, or it might be their first glance at kind of syncing numbers with sports. They kind of need more evidence, so on and so forth. And also, it gives other people an opportunity to kind of deceive and fraudulently claim that they actually called the World Series because they just so happen to make a video when it finally came down to two teams and they just happen to be on the right side of a 50-50 coin flip. Okay. So we're trying to put a stop to all that madness and all that bullshit. Gladly, we're in a position right now, and I'm super I feel super humbled, and I have a ton of pride in knowing that the only American League team that we gave out to go to the World Series is team. Again, I only gave out one American League team and one National League team. The only American League team that we gave out was the Texas Rangers, and right now they're in the World Series and successfully like in control of it at this point because they're up 3-1. So I do have a ton of pride in that. That is an accomplishment within itself to be able to call the World Series, the team making it to the World Series, and also that team just happens to be in the has the upper hand at this juncture. So that is cool. Take a moment to appreciate that, so on and so forth. Thank you, appreciate it. No one's gonna celebrate you or promote you like you will do yourself, because sadly, that it doesn't matter if it's the truth community, the decoding community, so it's filled with nothing but egotistical people, selfish people, very, very prideful and ego driven, and they will never promote someone else. They will never say that someone else got it right and they got it wrong. They rather keep that behind the scenes, and it's very, very. It's a sad, sad perspective to have, especially when you call yourself trying to wake people up and speak about the truth, and not actually live in your own truth. Right? If you did not call the World Series correctly, uh, that's okay. If if you gave out a World Series team and it didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen, that's okay also. But when you lie about it and when you pretend, that's really the thing that kind of gives like a black eye to the work as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not speaking about anybody specifically. I'm just saying I've known from the past that this goes on all the time. People do it every single year, and it's not just one person. A bunch of people do it. So, and it's just a bad look overall, right? But let's get into the game. So right now the game is going to get underway in about 45, 50 minutes, something like that. I wanted to do this video to speak about the possible symbolism that can happen tonight in this game, okay? For those of you that aren't familiar with gematria, basically it's a number code synchronized with the English alphabet and language. And I use that to show people how professional sports are scripted, right? The numbers is what matter, and not the numbers you would think, like analytics, right? Matchups, lefty versus righty, night games, day games, away games, whole games. We're not talking about those numbers. We're talking about, um, overall season records, playoff histories, World Series numbers, so on. These specific numbers, and that's what I'm going to talk about today because there's a huge, huge symbolism that I see on the surface, and I just want to put it out to the people, not for the sake of saying I called something correct or not, but just to show people that if it actually does play out a specific way, this is like the synchronicity that we saw, and I pointed out before the game happened. Okay, but like before the series continued. So I'm gonna point it out now and show it to people right now. Again, you're gonna have hundreds of people making a video today, trying to pretend or trying to claim that they called the World Series exactly, and that's perfectly fine. But what I'm here to do is just show you the symbolism behind the numbers, okay, and what the odds are that something would actually play out in this way. So for those of you that don't know, usually a number that I speak about all the time, in relation to like championships, is the number 131, right? We've seen it year after year connect to a significant win, loss, uh, team record, postseason record, just so on and so forth. Like the day of an individual's age, the number 131 is usually stamped all over a championship. And the reason why is because when you write that number out, when you write the number 131, I mean championship out, when you write the word out, it equals 131, right? Let me show you guys that. So again, you don't have to take anything. You don't have to take my word on anything. I'll show you everything. Okay. So here you go. Championship right there equals 131. Okay. So usually that's a number that we like to pay attention to, right? But when it comes to baseball, it's kind of and again, there's a connection between 131 and another number, right? Now, if you look at this number, right, you look at, okay, World Series, right? Since this is baseball, we're talking about World Series equals 57, right? Okay. And the purest cipher, it's the strongest connection right there. World Series equals 57, right? Now, what would it be what are the chances the number I was just showing you, right? The 131 in connection to championship. What are the chances that 57, the number that connects to World Series, which is the baseball championship, 57 when you write it out equals 131, the championship number. So we have a direct connection between the number 57 and 131, right? Okay. But the number I want to focus on is 57, especially today. 57, 57, 57. Now, what are the chances, okay? What are the chances that today, of all days, all right, we're not going to talk about connecting this World Series to Kobe Bryant. We're not going to talk about connecting this World Series to 9/11. We're not going to talk about connecting this World Series to the World Trade Center. No, it sounds good, right? And it's awesome, but we're just going to stick to the numbers, okay? We don't need the fluff and the bedtime stories with all those narratives. Just staying on point with the number 57. Okay, now what are the chances tonight when you take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks? Right, let's go to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So when you look today, now staying on that number 57, stay with me, follow me. Okay, 57. What are the chances that tonight is the Arizona Diamondbacks' 57th playoff game in the entire history of the Arizona Diamondbacks? Today is their 57th playoff game. They're currently 28 and 28, 56 games, 56 playoff games, and today is their 57th playoff game, and it's an elimination game. So if they get eliminated, it would be their 57th playoff game, and World Series equals 57. Okay, something to pay attention to. So an elimination game just so happens to be their 57th playoff game overall. Okay, now stay with me. We're going to keep going. Another 57. It's on the board. Okay. Not only is it the Arizona Diamondbacks 57th overall playoff game, if they lose this game today, they can become 5-7 in the World Series all time. Okay? That's with the games included. So if they lose today, 5-7 record in the World Series in their 57th playoff game, when World Series equals 57, okay? Stay with me. We're still talking about the same number, 57, 57, 57. Now we go on over to the other side of it. Let's bring up who? Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy is the manager for the Texas Rangers. Today, it's an elimination game for the Texas Rangers. If they win, okay, if they win, the manager of the Texas Rangers, Bruce Bochy, will pick up his 57th playoff win. Okay? 57. He's currently on 56. He can pick up his 57th playoff win today in a World Series game. When World Series equals 57, he can make the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-7 in the World Series all time in the Arizona Diamondbacks 57th playoff game. What are the chances that that happens tonight? 57, 57, 57, 57, all across the board. Okay? It's like the gematria trifecta. All right. Now, I'm putting out this video not to pop my collar, not to talk reckless, not speaking about an ego or anything like that. But what I'm putting it out for is to show people the connections, right? Now, this just so happens to play out a certain way. You can't say it wasn't all about the number 57. What are the chances that the Diamondbacks can become 5-7 in World Series games in their 57th playoff game, and they can give the Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy his 57th playoff win all time, and World Series equals 57? What are the chances that that all lines up today of all days? Okay, and just to add a little bit salt, just to add a little bit sugar on top, cherry on top, right? Let's look back in history, because what do they say? If you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? History repeats itself, whatever way that metaphor goes. So let's look back at history, because history plays a part in everything that's going on, right? So let's look back at history. If we look back, Bruce Bochy, okay, the manager currently of the Texas Rangers, we look at him, go back in history, right? We study history, pay attention. Let's bring up Bruce Bochy, okay? Give me 1 second. Bruce Bochy, Wikipedia, okay? First of all, his first ever World Series was when he was the manager of the San Francisco Giants, okay? And he actually beat the Texas Rangers in his first World Series. Now, if we check it out, he's a 3-time World Series champion. His first World Series was in 2010, okay? It was San Francisco. Bruce Bochy managed San Francisco versus Ron Washington and the Texas Rangers, okay? His first World Series. Now, that series ended in 5 games also. It was his first World Series, and he got his first ever World Series victory, his first ever championship in 2010 on November 1st. Today just so happens to be, allo, 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 November 1st. Okay. So this is a very, very symbolic day for Bruce Bochy. Okay. Because it doesn't matter how many championships you win. You know, Tom Brady said it the best. You always remember your first championship and your last championship. So this is a very symbolic day for Bruce Bochy. He just so happened to win his first ever Major League Baseball championship on November 1st. Today's November 1st. And we just spoke about all the connections with the numbers 57 that could possibly happen. Okay, for today. 57, 57, 57, 57, 57. All across the board. All right. What are the chances that all that would line up like that? Okay, let me summarize it for you for the people that may be confused. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks playing their 57th playoff game in their history. If they lose, they can become 5-7 in World Series games, like 57. The Texas Rangers manager can pick up his 57th playoff win all time. World Series equals 57. All of that can happen today. Okay? And also on November 1st, a very, very symbolic day for the Texas Rangers manager. He beat Texas to win his first world championship on November 1st. And now, there's two ways to look at it. Can he win his next championship on November 1st, or does Texas lose again today, just like they lost on November 1st back in 2010? Okay, there's two ways to look at it. It's a possibility. We don't know. Okay, but I'm bringing up the symbolism behind today and the number 57, and just showing you guys like, wow, like even the chances of this being a possibility of it lining up like this is just inconceivable. For all those that 57 to be across those different categories and all time and records and all that, for all that to line up today is very. I don't even know the percentage or the math behind that, but I'm willing to guess it's fucking microscopic, the chances of that happening. Okay. Now, as I said, does history repeat itself because it could repeat itself in both ways. Now, Bruce Bochy manages the Texas Rangers now. Do they lose on November 1st, just like Texas lost on November 1st in 2010? Or does the manager, Bruce Bochy, win another championship on the symbolic day of November 1st, just like he won his first World Series on November 1st in 2010? We shall see. Also, something to be aware of. Okay, we're talking about the number 57, and I showed you guys all the connections to the number 57. One thing to be aware of. Okay, as I said, depends on which way you want to look at it. Now, Texas lost on this day in history on 2010, so that's a possibility they can lose today. But as well as something to pair with that to keep in mind is the next game is on November 3rd. November 3rd. So today being November 1st is a 55 date numerology, right? Obviously, 11 plus 1 is 12, plus 20 is 32, plus 23 is 55. Today being a 55 date numerology. Now, the game 6 is on a 57 date numerology. So this series can actually get stretched an additional game. It can all come down to ending on a 57 date numerology as well. I don't really see a narrative for it to go 7 games, but all I'm saying is it doesn't necessarily have to end today. It could end possibly on a 57 date numerology in on November 3rd, possibly, or it could be maybe the underdog does storm back in a incredible comeback story, and the D-backs win the championship. Anything is possible, but again, the theme of today's story of today's video is talking about all the 57s that align today, and we shall see what happens with it. And I thought it was very, very important to put this out on the forefront and show people that the 57 is plastered all across this game if you're paying attention to. And it's a championship number, as I explained to you guys. It's hard to dismiss, it's hard to ignore. So just pay attention to that parallel, pay attention to history repeating itself. As I showed you, Bruce Bochy has a very, very symbolic connection to this date back in 2010. And but again, it depends on what perspective you're looking at that from, because November 1st, he did win his first championship in 2010, but he defeated Texas. So Texas did lose on November 1st back in 2010 to give Bruce Bochy his first World Series. Does Texas lose again today on November 1st? We shall see. But, again, the 57 is what's important. And again, it was too crazy for me not to bring it up, show people, do a video, and point it out before the game is actually played. So you got about a half an hour to continue to do your own additional research. I want you to if once this video is done, come back, leave a comment or your additional perspective, whatever you think with a narrative, put it in the comment section. I want to see what other people are thinking and talking about. And also it gives some validity to the message, the overall message of this video, just speaking about gematria and sports, also in history, repeating itself or not, or the overall connection, just doing the research. So add any additional perspective and observations. I look forward to reading it in the comment section. I appreciate everybody, and enjoy the game, whichever way you're leaning. Good luck to everybody. I appreciate. Always remember to be responsible, whatever it is you decide to do. And yeah, good luck. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Victor, aka Mr. Futures. And as I love to say in my community, gematria at its finest, easy as 1, 2, 3. Peace, vibes, and love for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we shall see what's going to happen. We got some World Series gifts going on here in the background. I thought this would have been funny for people to check out too. So yeah, as I said, once the video goes up, please repost it, share it, whatever, react to it, but just definitely leave a click the like button. Costs you absolutely nothing, and come back and drop a comment with your observation, perspective, your guess, your narrative, whatever it is. I'm interested in reading it. So good. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Oh, and again, the link for my community, the most profitable sports community in the world, is in the description of every one of my videos. Get on over there. If you're not already a member, you're down massive units. So get in tune. And yes, I'll see you guys really, really soon. Till the next time, peace.